So I brought empanadas, and I think pretty much almost every Latin American culture has, a version of that. Just enough meat and dough to get you in the flow, Ooh, I made that right.
Yeah.
That's good.
And they make them in all types of varieties. I know definitely in the Cuban culture, they have like guava.
Yeah,
And guava
favorite.
cheese.
Yes.
So I brought tacos, and tacos are notoriously, obviously Mexican, but they have a ton of historical context from different parts of the world. So there's a famous taco, tacos al pastor, which is a pork, and they put it on a spit. But that is originated from Lebanon, Lebanese cuisine. So shawarmas, so similar concept, but instead of the actual bread, the pita bread, you use the corn tortilla. And you can make a taco out of anything. Like you can put chicken, beef, but you want your protein. You want a little bit of cilantro. I'm gonna get a little bit of this one that's chopped up here.
Nice.
And a little bit of cheese, and you gotta put a little bit of salsa on it. Like get a little bit of spice.
So I brought tamales, and for tamales, you need familia. You need an assembly line. This isn't a task that you take upon yourself all by yourself. No, it's a lot of work. It's the husk that you open and you put the masa in it, and then very similar to the empanada, you can have pork or chicken or cheese.
In the Caribbean, instead of tamales, we make pasteles.
Pasteles, that's right.
But it's basically the same construction, just using plantains and yuca.
Yeah.
But instead of corn husk, we use plantain leaves to wrap them in.
Yeah. Now comes a really special part of the meal is the dessert.
Yes.
And I brought today a flan. And there are many different types of flanes that you can make, but I feel like the two classic ones in Puerto Rico are vanilla and cheese. So this one is a vanilla. Flan is my favorite. It's a very simple dish. It's basically like a vanilla custard.
A little bigger.
Okay. So
I love me some flan, man. Oh, so good.
and this dish is a very classic thing to have, especially during Christmas time. Like Christmas, there's always a flan. And in my house, like growing up, ever since I was very little, there was always a flan in the table.
Food is a big thing in the Hispanic culture. Like if I invite Josie over my house, Josie will say, "What do you want me to bring?" It's always food.
Yeah. So I was born in Mexico and moved to the United States when I was 5 years old. Coming to the US, I did have moments where it was like I wanted to embrace American culture. So cheeseburgers, chicken nuggets, I wanted to try those things, and I ended up liking them a ton. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's a good thing, right? I think the important part for my parents, and even now for us as parents, is the connection with food to our culture, to our roots, to our heritage. I mean, it's such a tight connection. Just thinking back to the Mayans and the Aztecs and the things that they ate, it keeps us rooted to those roots, to those connections. Even now, we as parents try to remind our kids, like, hey, this is part of your heritage. It's part of your identity, whether it's tying it with food or just historical knowledge of like what we came from. That's why to me it's like important to maintain some sense of where you came from, because you got to remember where you came from.
Right.
You can't forget where you came from,
Well, I saw definitely the same thing with my parents. So I was born in the U.S., but both my mom and dad came from Dominican Republic in the 60s. And so we still remember all of the traditional meals, and it is so much wrapped up in our culture and who we are. I guess it's a way that, like my parents and your parents, I'm probably sure for you, just kept us in touch with where we came from.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
Yeah. I think for me, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. And one of the things that I appreciate and love of my culture is that we get together and there's always music. I feel like music is so important.
Yeah.
And I feel like for the entire Hispanic culture, I mean, music is an essential thing.
Absolutely.
And it's so cool, like, to look at all the people that have come out, like, from Puerto Rico, who are now, like, worldwide stars, and everybody knows them.
So I was born in Los Angeles, but my parents are from Mexico. So I got to experience not just Mexicans, but everything, a plethora of culture in LA. But just to piggyback on what you're saying, Chelsea, the music, dancing. We love to dance. This is my husband, so he would pick me up, and every time he would pick me up, my family's in the parking lot dancing and
Throwing
eating.
a big old party.
Yes.
Every
and-
time. And I'd be like, whose birthday is it? She's like,
I'd be like, no, it's nobody's birthday. It's the weekend. So we would just dance. And honestly, when you think back on our culture, Hispanics, a lot of them have come from countries where they're not able to express their freedom and their joy, or, as a minority, there's, some struggles in the country. And so any opportunity we get to celebrate, we celebrate big. Yeah. We celebrate life.
One thing that I think our culture reflects a lot about who God is God is very creative. He is the creator, right? And the arts and the food and the music, like all of those things, like I feel like our culture represents that side of God and shows us that side of God, the creator, the one who created all skin colors, all backgrounds. He created us, and I see that in our culture, and I love that about our culture, that it points back to God the creator.
Yeah, this table is a really good representation of Latin America. Look at all these colors. We have frijoles negros here, we have queso fresco, we got the habanero, the spicy habanero. So I love this. It's a really good representation of who we are as a culture and in this world.
Amen.